Hi guys, again, so today welcome back to my channel where we are back with another speed build in The Sims 4. So today, after the recent base game update, I thought I'd come in and try and make a starter home, which was honestly a little bit of a challenge for me because I love clutter. I'm very much a maximalist, as you all know. So coming in and having to do it under £20,000, I found a bit challenging, not going to lie. I kept building it way too big and then having to restart it. and control myself so it was a little bit smaller. In the end, it is a two-story house. Downstairs we have an open plan, so there's a kitchen, dining, living area with a little bathroom, and then upstairs we have the master bedroom, and then I've also done a nursery, because I imagine maybe this is for a young couple, maybe they're just married, and this is their first home together maybe. So I did want to include a nursery. If you don't play with families, and you could make it a second bedroom or even an office. But yeah, it does come up, and I think it's just under £20,000. We do have to scrimp on some things. There's not that much clutter, there's not that much decor, and unfortunately there are no curtains because we just could not afford them. And then out back I do a little patio area, which you'll see later. So this is me just trying to figure out the stairs, because I kind of still wanted, although it's open plan downstairs, I wanted it to be very much sectioned, so there's a living and a kitchen area. So I was trying to see if I could use the stairs to divide the space up a little bit, but I just realised that it was just far too small for that, and our best bet was just to have a normal staircase, because yeah, we wouldn't be able to do anything fancy. And now I'm coming in trying to figure out what I want to do in terms of the upstairs layout. At this time I was thinking maybe still have the bathroom upstairs and the second bedroom, but then again I was like, no, that ain't gonna fit. So I was like, maybe just the 2 bedrooms upstairs. And this is me trying to figure out a floor plan for them. The master bedroom, I knew I wanted to be the biggest because obviously it's the master, and the nursery doesn't need to be too big. There's not much that they need in there. It is big enough so that as the child grows up you could probably fit in a single bed, so that you don't have to move out straight away. You could probably stay in this house for a minute. So, which I thought was good because, in The Sims sometimes it can take a lot of time to get up that many. I personally wouldn't know though, because most of the time I kind of do cheat. My Sims don't struggle for very long. I basically just like to give them a house I like to start off with. So I give them a little bit of funds so I can make a nice house for them. I don't live in I don't really play in these lower cost lots, but maybe I should do not a struggle series, but just let my sim accumulate their wealth, I guess, naturally rather than gifting it to them. But I just don't like living in Stark houses. Not like this is Stark or anything, but I love all that clutter and stuff, so I like to make it, I don't know, I like to live in a house like that. So I tend to give my sim just a tiny little bit of extra money so that they can do that. But coming in now, I'm just trying to figure out the roof and to make it look good. Because I feel sometimes with these 2-story builds, especially when they have the jutting out sections, the roof can look a bit funky. I mean, I'm not the best roofer in the world. I am still trying to learn. I feel every build I do, my roofing gets a little bit better, or I learn some tricks and stuff. So yeah, I am definitely it's something I am working on. That's me trying to bring in the eaves, but do one side at a time. Holding down shift, I believe that is, and I just couldn't get it to start off with. It just wasn't doing it, and then I realised I was holding the wrong button, so that would not work. So for the outside, I went with these I found this green door to start off with, and I really liked it. So I kind of do add in some green parts, so there's green shutters on the windows. I really like those shutters. I think it gives this house a really homey feel. I kind of feel it kind of gives new build as well, especially for new builds in the UK. I'm not sure about other countries, but we have I don't know how to describe them, but I think it gives a new build vibe. I add a little tree to the front porch, and I think it adds to the new build. Not that this necessarily is a new build, it's not particularly modern inside. But yeah, I feel it does give new build vibes. And this is me trying to figure out the columns, because I'm sure you could do them on top of each other, but I just couldn't get it to fit. I think the column wasn't the right, because of the architecture of it, I guess. If I'd have put 2 on top of each other, I think it'd have looked funky. So I gave up on that in the end, and didn't use them. I did come in there and add some flower boxes under the windows. I really like doing that. I think it just kind of finishes off the front of a house, and it brings it all together. I always say, I think if you add a little bit of plants outside a house, it can do so much for a build and like elevate it so much. So if you like ever think your build looks a bit like weird, like it's not kind of looking how you want, add some plants. And if you've added plants, add more. You can never have too many plants. So here I am adding that like little tree on the front garden. I kind of wanted one of those like manicured ones. They're kind of like round, and then they have like the tree trunk, and then they're round again, and then tree trunk and round again, and then like each roundness, I guess, is smaller than the one before. I wanted one of those, but we don't have those in the game, so in the end I just sized down a pine tree, and then I add like a little light next to it so that if they're coming home in the dark they can see where they're going. And then under the window here I just come in and add some flower beds, because like I said, flowers elevate a build so much. Just trying to make sure, like, the only tip I can really give is just put loads of different ones there and change the swatches up, and maybe even the orientations, just so everything's not looking exactly the same and like facing the same direction, and it'll just make your build so much better. I then add in a bin and a mailbox. Actually remember those this time straight away. Normally at the very end of the build I like have to add those because I completely forgot it. And then to like border the house I add in these like nice little, they're not particularly like manicured, I think they're like guarded, like groomed I'd say, but they're not like the block ones which have been like, I say, like they're overly manicured, so like they've been styled. These are kind of a bit more organic, but they are like nicely contained. And I'm just coming in and adding in some doors. I wasn't 100% sure what I wanted to do with the inside, like in terms of aesthetic, because this is just I don't know if I mentioned, but this is a starter build and it's only a base game. So I was very limited. I feel like with the base game, we don't have that many good wallpapers. Like we have plain swatches, but I feel like the wallpapers, we have a lot of kids ones. Or like I say a lot, we have a few for the kids' rooms and like the nurseries and stuff. And then we have some with like the, like on the bottom where it's got like panels. But I didn't want that. I kind of wanted something just not neutral, but something muted, maybe just like with a slight pattern that I could add, because I didn't want anything too crazy in here because the space isn't big. But I just felt like we didn't do that, so in the end I just kind of went with this beige colour and then brought in colours using the furniture. In the bathroom we kept it very simple. I do a green floor because I feel like since I did green outside with the doors and the shutters, I do bring some green inside as like that pop of colour. So I did the new green tiles on the floor, which I really like those, and I think I did the new green wall tiles, which I do like those. I think some of the swatches are so like, the white is so white. It's given like dentist office white or like hospital white, and it's like a bit whoa. But there's one that kind of has like a black grout between it that like is a bit more muted, and I really like that a lot better. And then in the bay there, I just add in a table because this is a family kind of house, so I imagine maybe they have all breakfast together. I do end up removing one of those chairs because it just juts out a bit too much for me able to put a kitchen in here. I use the new counters from the base game update, and I really like these. I think the colour is amazing. If I had to say one thing, which is a very small thing, I wish they just did a plain countertop option. I think I personally would have liked it a little bit better without the marble. That's just my personal aesthetic though. I do really like them. But yeah, if they just maybe gave us an option with the plain counters, I would enjoy them a little bit more. But yeah, I'm now coming in and just kind of rearranging this kitchen because I felt like it was kind of an awkward space because we need like room for that back door. So in the end, I kind of go for this. It's not like a galley kitchen. It's got like units along one wall, and then it's got like a freestanding moment with the sink in it. And I quite like that. I quite like having it. It's a bit of a different style of kitchen than what I'd normally go for. And then for the living room here, I use this sofa, which I don't think I really used before, but it looks so comfy. And I really like that shade of green that I fitted in. So this is just me now kind of jiggling around a bit. I do end up getting my sim in to come and play test it because I just wanted to make sure that all those chairs were like usable with having the like sofa so close to them, and they can get there, they just have to go around the long way, which I think is fine. I then add in like a second seat here just in the corner because maybe if they've got more sims over, there's just extra seating, and I think it just added like, it's not decor, but it added like a little bit of something to the room. I was being mindful of like how much money I was spending. So I did try and like put the main pieces in each of the room, and then I did come back and add just a tiny bit of clutter because I could not help myself. So this is me now just coming in and choosing a wallpaper for the baby's room. Again, I kept it neutral. I think I just go for like this brown tone in the end because I just kind of don't know what gender these babies are going to be. So I just kept it very neutral, and I think it turns out well in the end. I did put probably I think the nursery is like the most cluttered of all of the rooms in the end. But yeah, I did kind of put everything you'd need for a baby in there. And then in the adult's bedroom here, the master bedroom, I give them like this very light minty green wallpaper, again to bring in that green from downstairs upstairs. I try a few different beds, just trying to find one that fits the space the best, I guess. The first one I had, I didn't really like it. I felt like it looked a bit too fancy, so I come back in with this one, and then I kind of recolor it after to kind of match in a bit more, because I felt like the grey was throwing everything off, and I do think this one looks a lot better. I don't think it's the comfiest bed though, so your Sims might complain, but you know, they're on a budget, so I add in some night lights there onto their table, and then just a plant. I do kind of look at putting in a picture or something, but the pictures are so expensive. I was like, I can either spend £200 on one picture, or I could buy 3 clutter items, so you know which I picked, the clutter. And then coming into the baby's bedroom again, I went with neutral tones, which happened to bring in, they're like pinks and blues and greens, which was just coincidental. I didn't like specifically pick them. I went with like neutral tones, and they just kind of happened to have all like the right shades on and just fit perfectly. Since I'd brought a sim in, I did have to kind of give myself some money so I could afford the end of this build, but I kind of give them a bookshelf. I add in some toys, like when they're a little bit older and they can play with the toys, like you don't have to worry about trying to save up for some money. So I only add in a couple. I add in some blocks, a rattle, and then like a little figure for them to play with. But yeah, as you can see, this room, if you your baby sized up, aged up to a toddler or even a child, I feel like even a teen could live in this room. Like you could add in a desk, there's plenty of space for a bed. You could possibly even fit a double bed in, and have like a one nightstand to like tuck it into a corner. So yeah, you could be in this house for a while, if like depending on your game and like what your money situation is. So add in a chair in the corner and some books so that the parents can read to the baby, like if it's like up in the night or whatever. And then for the walls, I add in like this little night light, because if you didn't know, if your child like keeps getting up from nightmares, if you add in this night light, it stops them doing that, because I find it so annoying. They wake your sim up and then they don't go to bed for ages because they have like that scared moodlet. So yeah, if that's happening to you, just add a night light in and it completely stops that. And then on the walls, I added in some of these decals because they were so cheap. They were like £25. I think this one was like 10 or something. So I was like, right, this is like a cheap way to add in something on the walls. We can't do that for every room because I feel like having unicorns downstairs won't really match the vibe. But we can do it in the kids' room. So I thought that was like at least something, something we could do for them. And then I just add a few pictures on the wall, like the ladybug and the dinosaur. That's me kind of looking at curtains and realising how expensive they are and changing my mind completely. And this is a curtain-free household. I do add a railing to the stairs just so, you know, your Sims don't fall down and, I don't know, have an insurance claim. I'm now just trying to come through and find some clutter that isn't too expensive that we can use just to kind of give the space a little bit of personality. So I bring out these like aftershaves, I think they are, and lotion bottles for like the master bedroom. And then downstairs in the kitchen, I just add a little bit of clutter. It's nothing too much, but just some like kitchen roll and utensils to the side, just so it's not completely stark in here. And then I do add a rug into this living area just to kind of break up the floor a little bit. But yeah, and then in the corner I do add I feel like I'm saying I end up adding in a easel so that they've got something to start like their money business with. I feel like the easel is one of the best for money. If you get that art skill up, you can make a pretty penny. So yeah, I added that in so that you can like start working your way out of this house and maybe upgrade to something slightly bigger. And then in the backyard, we do have quite a bit of space back here, so you could even extend this, like maybe as your family grows. If you didn't want to move like house, you could extend the house, because you could go out the side and you could extend that upper floor, like the second floor, so that it takes over the whole space. So there's definitely room you could grow into this house rather than having to move out. But I just like fence off the backyard here. I do think this is a nice spot because obviously you have the fishing behind you there, so you could like fish for money. So I think there are a lot of options here. Like you wouldn't have to move out too quick if you didn't want to. So I do think it turned out quite well. I added some seating, I added a tree because I really like the thought of having a tree in your back garden. I don't know why, I just love trees, and I can imagine like maybe they planted it like when they first move in, and then as they're here, like each year they can watch it grow. I just think that would be so nice. And then I add some plant pots in the back garden. Again, planting I feel like is another way to make some good money. Seeds aren't that expensive and you can make a pretty penny from those too. So there's like a bunch of ways to increase your income in this house, which I thought was good. I then tried to add in some sort of jungle gym for the kid because, you know, as I get older, they're probably going to want something to do. But it was far too big. And I don't know why I was looking at those pirate ships either, because if the monkey bars didn't fit, they won't fit. In the end, they come in with a doll's house. And I just pop it outside because, you know, they don't get ruined. The rain doesn't affect things in The Sims, so we can do that. And I just thought it'd be a nice place for the adults to sit down and the kid can play outside with their little doll's house. So yeah, these are the final stills. I hope you enjoyed it. I quite enjoyed this, you know, the challenge of having to do it to a budget was like a new one for me, because normally I don't care, I spend as much as I want on these houses, but I do like it. I think it turned out well. Let me know what you think though. And also, if there's ever any builds you want me to do, like maybe you want me to do a base game build but don't like have a budget, I could do that. If you want me to do a build doing a specific pack, I could do that, because I know not everybody has all the packs. I mean, I don't have all the packs myself, but you guys might not have the same packs I have. So if you want one just doing high school years, or if you want one just doing university and base game, feel free to let me know and I can definitely do that. I do have some builds on the way. I'd like to renovate one of the university buildings in the university pack, because I feel like they don't match the aesthetic of the universities, so I want to do that. I just got full rent, so I'd like to do like a motel and an apartment block. So yeah, I have some ideas of my own, which I will obviously do. But if there's anything you guys want to see, feel free to comment it below and I can always get to that. But yeah, we are now just heading out into the garden and seeing the space out here. And I like it. I think it turned out well. But I hope you did too. And I hope you enjoyed. And I'll catch you next time. Bye.